Hi everyone, I'm back and today I'm going to show you all how to make a caramel apple upside down cake. Here's what you will need. You will need, the kind of apples that I like to use for this is Golden Delicious. Alright, and you see how I've sliced them, and I've taken a half of lemon and I've squeezed the lemon all over the apples so that they don't turn brown. All right, you will need caramel. You will need 1 cup of brown sugar, a half a cup of butter or 1 stick of butter. You will need spice cake mix. You will need whatever ingredients that your cake mix calls for. This is the kind of cake mix that I'm using, and my cake mix calls for 1 cup of water, 3 large eggs, and 1/3 cup of vegetable oil. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and mix up our cake mix, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next. Okay everyone, so the first thing that we want to do, let's go ahead and put our water in, our ingredients for our cake mix. I'm telling you guys, anytime I get a chance to use pre-made cake mix, I do, because I don't have the time to, like slave in the kitchen and do it homemade. I don't call myself a baker, but I love to make desserts, and I love to use pre-made brownie mixes, pre-made cakes mixes, and then do what I want to it, bump it up how I like to, and it always turn out right, guys. You hear me? Okay, so then I've put my eggs, I've put my water, and then I'm going to put my oil in, and then we're going to mix this bad boy up. Let me get all that oil out of there. Here we go. All right. Let's turn this on and get it nice and mixed well. Okay. Make sure I have it on a low speed. All right, let's get this started. And you want to take the time to scrape down the sides. You always want to scrape the sides down because you're going to need those ingredients also. You don't want them to stay stuck to the side of your bowl and then your mix doesn't get well incorporated. So we're going to continue to mix this up. And what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and lift it so that I can scrape the sides. Okay, so let's give it a lift and just take a rubber spatula, scrape those sides down. Get all that goodness down in there. And I chose to use a spice cake because spice cake kind of reminds me of the fall time, of the holidays. And this is a cake that you all can make for your holidays, for this Thanksgiving. Give it a try. All right, we've scraped the sides down. I'm kind of scraping the bottom of the bowl a little. All right, and then we'll turn this back on. Now, the reason why I chose to use Golden Delicious. Golden Delicious is not as sour as a Granny Smith. I love Granny Smith. And Granny Smith are awesome to cook with also. But they have a sour taste. Golden Delicious is sweet and it will hold up during the cooking process. If you were to try to use a gala apple or one of the red apples, what would happen is that apple would kind of turn into kind of like applesauce. So choose a Golden Delicious when you want to make this recipe. This would be the best one. If you cannot find this, then you will use what's the other one, guys? I just said it, but I'll think of it. I'll think of it and then I'll come back to it. But use this one, guys. Best one, Golden Delicious. All right, let's finish mixing this up, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do with our brown sugar and butter. Meanwhile, I'll try to remember the apple that I was thinking of. Okay, everybody, it came to me. Granny Smith. Yes, if you cannot find, I knew it'd come to me. I knew it would come back to me. If you can't find Golden Delicious, definitely use a Granny Smith. And make sure you take that half a lemon after you slice it and squeeze it all throughout your apples to keep your apples from turning brown. Now, some of them might turn a little brown, but hey, that's okay. All right, our mixture is done. We're going to scrape the sides one more time. Oh yes, look at that. And when you take the time to let it beat for a while, that egg gets nice and fluffy and you'll have a really fluffy batter. Really fluffy cake. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. That half a cup of butter, or your half of stick of butter, which is the same thing, we're going to take, let me rinse this bowl out here, guys. You're going to take that butter and you're going to melt it in the microwave. You might only need to put it for maybe a good 40 seconds. Let's scrape this into here, turn it on in the microwave to get it nice and melted. Let me turn down this way. There we go. I'm going to scrape this into here, put it in the microwave so that it can melt. And then we're going to mix up our brown sugar and our butter mixture on the bottom of the pan, and that will be what's going to hold our apples in place when we flip our cake upside down. So let's go ahead and heat this in the microwave on 45 seconds. I'll be right back. Okay, everyone, so here's what we're going to do. This is cooked, well, melted the butter, 45 seconds in the microwave, just like so. All right, now let's go ahead and put our, and when you measure out your brown sugar, you make sure you pack it just like this so you can get the correct measurement. 1 cup. All right. And then you want to mix this around very well into your butter. Okay? And the butter might look a little separate from the brown sugar, but that's okay. It's all going to come together during the cooking process. All right? So just mix this just like so. All right? And then we're going to add our apples on top. And make sure when you cut your apples, cut them thin enough. You know, you don't want them too thick where they don't get cooked. Okay? But you want them thin enough. And I'll show you one of them again, the width of how I cut mine. Okay, this is perfect. This is what you're looking for in the bottom of your pan. Now, if you wanted to, feel free to use the circle pan, the cake pan if you wanted to, all right? This is just, when I go to make an upside down cake, this is the size that I like to use. All right, so there's that. Now, let's get my apples out. We're going to put these apples right on top of this pan. All right. Oh, let me show you the width. See that? Just like so. Not too thin, not too thick. All right. Just put them right smack dab in there. That's a little tiny one. I'm going to take that one out. And they taste so good, guys. I'm so excited for this recipe. And I think I'll even make this for Thanksgiving. I think this one will be on my Thanksgiving table this year. This is such a good recipe. So easy and yet so much fun to make. All right, let's go ahead and then we'll go this way with the others. And I left the skin on, guys. If you wanted to leave the skin on, leave the skin on. If you want to take it off, take it off. Guess what? It really wouldn't matter if you left it on or kept it off. All right? So do what you like. If you wanted to put cranberries in here, hey, put a few cranberries right there on top. You can do what you want with your recipes. That's what I like about cooking. It's so forgiving. You can do anything that you want. Anything is possible in your kitchen, right? All right, so I'm going to go this way with these ones. And then I'll have extra apples left over, and I'm just going to dip these leftover apples in some caramel later and just eat them. Ooh, look at this. I need a smaller one to fit in there. There we go. Perfect. All right. So then we pour our batter right on top of here. This is just like very similar to my pineapple upside down cake. If you all haven't seen that video, hey, check it out. It's a great video. It really is. And I tell you what, that pineapple upside down cake was so good, guys. I love pineapple upside down cake. I want to say that's one of my favorite cakes. It's not my favorite cake, but it is definitely one of them. All right, let's get another one. Put him right there. All right. Now see that process is so very simple. Now I'm going to mix my batter one more good time, and then we're going to pour it right on top. Okay. Perfect. All right, let's lift this out. Give me 1 second, and I'll be right back. Okay, everyone, now let's pour our beautiful batter right on in. Be even and make sure you get it. You know, you don't want one side higher than the other. Put enough on this side, enough in this corner. All right, and then you spread it out nice and evenly. All right. So I'm taking my rubber spatula at this point and I'm scraping very well. This cake mix smells so good. Do you hear me? All right, let's make sure we get all of this goodness out of here. All right. I don't want to miss any drop of this. All right. Let's get this in, and then we're going to smear the top to make it nice and even. We're going to put this in the oven on 350 degrees. And we're going to have, you can have either a toothpick or you can have a knife. And how you're going to check it is when you believe that your cake is done, you're going to stick your, let me get a good picture. You're going to stick your toothpick right down in the middle. And if your toothpick comes out nice and clean, hey, that cake is done. You hear me? Okay, so, and if you don't have a toothpick, it's okay to use a butter knife. And you stick it right down in the middle. It comes out nice and clean with not one crumb on it. It's evenly done. All right. It's funny. My grandmom used to make, she would make her pound cake. And the way that she told when it was done, she would say, I can smell it. That cake's done, baby. She said, go look at that cake. I'm like, it's done. You know, but she would. And guess what? It's true. When you can smell that cake, you better start looking at it because most likely it's done. And she was always right when she said that. My grandmom. All right, so I've spread this evenly, and then I'm going to smack it on the counter a few times, okay, to get any air bubbles out. I'm not going to smack it too hard because I don't want to disturb my apples and that brown sugar. Just a little. Just 1 and 2. That's good enough. I have my oven on 350. When this bad boy comes out the oven, I'm going to let you know exactly how long I cooked this for. It's going in the oven right now, and I'll be right back. Okay, everyone, now it's been 35 minutes, and you see, look at me, I went stir crazy with the holes. I just took a knife and I poked down in there. When it came out nice and clean, hey, it's done. 35 minutes. Now here's what you want to do. Go across the edge just to make sure that nothing is sticking. All right. And then you want to give it about 5 minutes, and then we're going to flip it over. All right. It's funny because every single time I do an upside down cake and I flip it over, my nerves in my stomach, it's so funny because I get butterflies. It's so weird. It's just like every time I get behind the camera, I get butterflies in my stomach. And I know it's going to turn out right. It's just like so weird. I just get a little nervous every time. But this right here is my husband bought a cake the other day, and I saved these. So when I want to flip something over, I have that. Flip it right. You know, it's the perfect size. So we're going to give this about 5 minutes to cool down, and we're going to flip this over. I'll be right back. Okay, everybody, it's been 5 minutes. Now we're going to put this top on, just like so, or whatever dish you have that might be a little bit bigger than your cake. Use that. All right. Sometimes I'll use a cookie sheet and align it with aluminum foil. All right. So now here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this and you want to hold, I don't know if you can see. Okay, so you're going to hold your finger here and here. All right, except for you're going to be right here with one hand, right there with the other hand, and just flip quickly and pray to the upside down cake gods that it turns out right. And it will, guys, don't worry. Okay, so let's go ahead and flip it. Just like so. All right, let it sit there for just a second. I like to tap the top like I always like to do. And then I like to put a nice cool tea towel right on top. Okay, just for a second there. All right, and then I'll pull it up here in about a minute or so. All right. Then I'll show you this beautiful upside down caramel apple spice cake. Guys, if you've never made this before, make you one and follow this recipe. All right, let's take our tea towel off. And look at this magic, guys. Comes out perfect every time. You hear me? Oh yeah. And look at that. One apple. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to grab that apple and put him exactly where he goes. And see, there's an apple there. There's two apples. All right, and you just grab that one, put it where it goes. If you got any brown sugar in there, hey, scrape it out. Scrape it out and put it on that cake. This right here. This right here is going to turn some heads. Do you hear me? Isn't this beautiful? Let me get a really good picture in on this. Now, what I'm going to do, we're going to let this cool down. All right? And once this cools down, I'm going to take caramel. This is where your caramel comes in. After your cake is nice and cool, we're going to come back and we're going to drizzle that caramel all over those apples. Oh my goodness. All right, I'll be right back, guys. Okay, everyone, now our cake is cooled down. And the whole purpose of cooling the cake down before we put this beautiful caramel on is because I don't want the cake to be hot and our caramel just kind of sinks down to the bottom and makes a soggy cake. We don't want that. So you let it cool all the way down and then you go in. You take your caramel and you're just going to drizzle. Oh my goodness. And that caramel's going to stay at the top. Okay? And it won't go to the bottom, all right? Check this out, guys. I don't know about you all, but I love oh my goodness. I love a good drizzle. There's something about me and drizzles. Oh my goodness. That looks so good, and I cannot wait to eat this. Who doesn't love caramel apples, right? Who doesn't love caramel apples? I tell you what, I love them. And I can't wait to eat this. My mouth is watering so much. You hear me? Look at that. Oh my goodness. I'm going to take some of that caramel off. I don't want too much in one spot. I want just enough so you can taste it, right? But not too much. Oh, look at this. Lordy B. This right here is what you call caramel apple upside down spice cake. If you never had it, guys, make you some. Ooh-wee. Let me put a little bit more over here. And then that's it with the caramel. That's all you need. All right, let's cut this bad boy up. I'm going to plate it with some vanilla ice cream. Oh yeah, I couldn't forget the vanilla ice cream, right? So we're going to have vanilla ice cream on the side of this. I'm getting ready to cut this. Meet me at my table, guys. I'm going to do a mukbang. And for all of you that don't know what a mukbang is where I sit down at my table, talk about how the food tastes, and talk about different things. Meet me here in a second, and I'll be right back. Look at this, guys. I had to just show you. Look at this piece of work. Hold on. Let's see if we can get a good picture. Look at that. Look at that beautiful spice cake. Isn't that beautiful? All right, look at that caramel. All right, I'm making my plate, guys. Oh yeah, getting so excited. Whew. I like for my pieces to be cut perfectly. I like to have a beautiful cake even when it's cut. All right, let's look down at this plate. Let's see. Let me get a good. Oh yeah. Woo-wee. All right, guys, let's dig in. Okay, guys, let's give this a try. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for feeding me another meal today and all your blessings. Amen. All right, look at this, guys. Look at this. Can you see that? I'm not going to tip it over too much to where my ice cream falls off. Look at this, guys. Look at that. Look at that drizzle of that caramel. And look at the side of that spice cake. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, yeah. Here we go, guys. I want to give you all a taste. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's dig in. Ooh-wee. All right. Oh, it's so fluffy. Remember I told you guys, when you're mixing your batter up, make sure you take the time to let it mix. Don't mix it up for 1 or 2 minutes and think you're gonna have a nice fluffy cake, because you won't. Let it mix, guys. You'll have a nice fluffy cake. Let those eggs beat up and get air in them so you can have a fluffy cake. Look at this, guys. Take this first bite right there. Right there. I'm trying not to tip it over. I see this part. Hold on. That part looks like it's getting ready to fall off. All right. Take that bite right there, guys. All yours right there. Right away. Oh my gosh, it's so good. This right here. This right here. This right here speaks fall time. This speaks winter time. And the smell that's in my house smells so good. I need like an air freshener of caramel apple upside down spice cake. My house would smell so good. This right here, I know I say it a lot, guys, but this right here is a smack your mama for real. All right, I want that. Look at that. See that caramel and that ice cream at the bottom of that? Take that bite right there, guys. Look at this, guys. Packed with flavor. Boy, it's so good. If you all want a good recipe, follow this recipe. If you want to be satisfied, make this. You'll be satisfied, or you'll satisfy someone. I'm going to taste my ice cream has caramel on it also. This is so delectable. So good. Look at the apple, guys. Oh my gosh. Ooh, that apple. That apple's got that brown sugar and butter. And then it's got that caramel. See that caramel dripping off of it? Look at this, guys. Taste that. Taste that right there. And make sure you buy the Golden Delicious. If you can't find Golden Delicious, the next step up would be Granny Smith. Don't get those red apples, because those red apples will turn to smush, all right? Trust me when I tell you that. Look at this, guys. Nice, moist cake. Oh, yeah. Do any of you watch, or not watch, I'm sorry, do any of you like to read books? If so, let me know in the comment section below what books you like to read. I have a book that I want to suggest to each and every one of you. And it's almost like I wish each and every one of you could read this book. This book is so good. Do you hear me? Okay. So, the book is The Shack. It's a Christian book, and it is so good. It's the best book that I've ever read in my life. Now, honestly, I can be honest with you guys. I don't read books. I really don't prefer to. Never have. But my sister wanted me to read this book. I read it and I lost my mind, guys. The book is so good. It's so good. I read the book 4 times. I love the book. And then the reason why I read it 4 times is because when I read it the second time, okay. When I read it the first time, I didn't get all the way through it. So the second time I said, I'm going to get all the way through the book. I got through the book. And then my sister was telling me, she's like, wait a minute, did you like see this part or did you remember this part? And I'm like, no. And she's like, read the book again. I read it again, and it's like each time is so crazy because each time you read the book, you can understand a little bit more each time. Or you might have missed something that first time. If you all read that book, oh my goodness, I want you to read it. Let me know what you think. Do not watch the movie before you read the book. You cannot watch the movie before you read the book. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. The movie was so freaking good. You hear me? That movie was so good. After I watched the movie, it was so weird because it was like I fell asleep. It was crazy. It was kind of like I fell asleep, right? But it was so real. It was like I wasn't dreaming. I fell asleep and I had the weirdest dream. And that dream freaked me out so much. I woke up and I was crying and I thought, oh my gosh, that was such a good movie. And the actors were absolutely everything I could imagine that the people were in the book. And Tim McGraw, he played one of the main characters in the movie. Guys, I'm telling you, if you have never read this book, you have to read it. I don't care who you are, you will love this book. There's a girl that I work with. She was reading the book, and every day she would come telling me like, oh my gosh, this book is crazy, right? This and that. And then she went on maternity leave. Well, she was pregnant when she was reading it, and then she got so far on, she kind of stopped reading the book. But I know she's going to get back into that book. And if you're watching, girl, you know I'm talking about you. You better get back into that book. You done had that baby, right? You done had that baby. Finish that book and let me know what you think, because you was having so much fun when you were reading that book. But congratulations to you and that new baby. Read the book to the baby. That's what you can do. But if you all enjoyed this video, hey, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you press that notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload one of these awesome videos. I'm going to take some more of this. I got one more apple left. Let me show you guys. I have to. Look at that caramel, guys. Bite that right there. Bite that right there. So good. Guess what, guys? I'm going to be honest with you. I like this more than pineapple upside down cake. I think I can actually say that. This right here, this cake will blow your mind. And anybody you make it for. Let me show you guys something. I'm going to show you one more. All right, there we go. Look at that. That's where I took that apple off. Isn't that beautiful? And as always, God bless. Have a great night. Thank you all for watching. Good night. Go out and get the Shack book. Watch it and let me know what you guys think. I love you all. Good night.